Hey everybody, for this week's broadcast of The Devil's Advocate, we will be taking a more serious tone and focusing in on the school violence that's been going around our whole country. Here we are showing you a few interviews that focus in on the school policies that we have put in place to ensure your safety.
I'm Grace and this is Officer Tackett, and today we're talking about safety. What new protocols in the building should students be made aware of?
There's a few protocols being put into effect now into the school system. Most of them are still the same. We've changed just a few small ones, such as anybody can initiate kind of a lockdown as of teachers, or if they see any kind of threat towards that way. But most all protocols are all still the same as of right now.
Okay. And what is the procedure when the district is made aware of a threat?
Procedure if we're having like a lockdown, if we have any kind of threat that comes towards the school or on school property. Of course, we have our lockout situation, so we'll keep anybody from coming inside, but we still function throughout the school, throughout normal class changes and all that. If we would happen to go into a lockdown, we have a threat coming into the school. Of course, we have one of the top systems around in the area right now with the blue lights and the announcement that comes through the school. Which is a lot of other schools are looking really interested into that system that we have, and are wanting to put it into effect in all the schools around, which I think is a great thing. It's a very safe and effective way to get the system let everybody know that there's a threat being made. So.
And how does the board plan to put student and parent minds at ease?
The board's had a few meetings. They've actually had several meetings with administration, law enforcement, and officials in the community of coming up with new ideas to making a safer school. As of right now, nothing has been set in stone with it, but there is a few things at play right now, such as bringing in actually more SROs into the school, or adding some kind of security such as that.
What are the consequences for a student who makes a threat even jokingly?
Yes, great question there. We tell them, I've talked to a couple students that have done that, and if you make a threat or even cause a alarm with anybody in the school wise, let's say you wanted to jokingly say, hey, there's supposed to be a school shooting today, that is almost the same as of bringing on making the actual threat itself. It is a arrestable offense, just as a threat would be, so there is consequences such as that. If you're 18 or older, of course, you'll be going to jail, and even we can arrest for juveniles and take that day. So they're making it very serious and very harsh penalties on that.
And how do you think social media affects the way we as a society react to things like this?
Social media is good and bad. It gets it out there really quick, but it also spreads the rumors really fast, and we've seen that. A lot of them think, especially with these like Snapchat and everything, that this stuff can't be traced, and I'm here to tell you that we can trace it. Snapchat's not disappeared. After you think it's disappeared, we can actually still have access to pulling that up, and I think that kids need to know that if they do put a threat, because it seems like a lot of Snapchat stuff, they think, oh, it's disappeared, it's gone away. It's not gone away, but it's also caused us a lot of headache with the rumors and everything like that.
And do you have any advice for students who may see or hear of a threat and what to do about it?
Definitely. If you hear of a threat or hear of anything, we want it to be made known. Talk to principal, vice principal, myself. Let somebody know what you've heard. You're not going to get in trouble for trying to do the right thing. But we try to tell everybody not to. If you hear a threat, don't tell everybody. Don't send it through social media. Don't send it to everybody in your classroom. Tell everybody about it. Come to the proper authorities. Let them know what's going on first. Because that's how everybody gets a little scared, nervous. They may not hear the whole piece, and they may just make assumptions on themselves. So just don't, spread the rumor. Just come to the proper authorities to report it.
All right. Thank you very much for sitting down with us today. And
very welcome. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Legally, what is most likely to happen when someone makes a threat verbally? What about on social media?
An individual is to threaten another individual or a group of individuals, that individual will be charged with terroristic threatening. If a student would make a threat to other students at school, more than likely that student will be arrested at school and incarcerated and brought before the district court. These are serious allegations, as we all know, but based upon what we see nowadays, and it is taken very seriously. You can face incarceration, face expulsion from school, and they have very serious ramifications on the lives of the individuals.
In our area, have you seen any increase in the amount of cases pertaining to safety threats?
Usually after an incident happens on the national level, there's always some copycat instances where somebody thinks they're being funny and they end up causing great alarm and stress. We are very fortunate in our area to have very good law enforcement, to have very good schools, to have very secure schools. And so we do not see an increase that I would believe endangers the lives of students. We're very fortunate to that regard, but you do see some copycat people who I believe are trying to be funny and end up becoming in a very serious criminal situation that they wish they hadn't been in once they get there.
Are threats mostly done towards high schools and middle schools or towards the elementary levels?
Usually the threats that are brought to district court are in the high school or the middle school levels. The students that attend the elementary schools are way more mature and don't put inappropriate things on the computer like it happens at middle school and high school.
Do you have any advice for students on what they should do if they hear or see something that concerns them?
If you see something that's unusual, report it. Report it to a teacher, report it to an administrator. We are all safer when we all use our sets of eyes. There's a whole lot of the students at the school, and so when you observe something that you don't think's right, when you hear something that you don't think's right, you need to report it, and that working together, that keeps us all safer.